Hi everyone, it's Brittany, and today we are going to be talking about why the human character cannot manifest anything. And this is going to be very, very important for you guys to understand, because when you really grasp this, everything is going to be effortless. So, who are you? I think at this point, if you watch any of my videos, you have an understanding of who you are. If you have not had a chance to listen to my last video, the direct experience video, please take a moment to watch that, because it's going to give you a strong foundation to really understand what I'm talking about here today. So, you are not this human being. You are not this character. This character exists within this illusion. Okay? So when I tell you that you are source, you are God, you are the I am, this infinite intelligence, you and who you truly are dreaming up all of these experiences. You're dreaming up this character. You chose to manifest this character, yes, as a form of you, but this form of you cannot manifest anything. So when you hear people saying things like, you must rewire your subconscious mind, you must do these affirmations, you must change your thoughts, you must feel a certain way, you must take certain actions, really stop for a moment and think about what that actually means. So this human character that exists within a dream, as you, God, dreaming up this dream, this character, how would it make any sense that you have to rewire your subconscious mind as a character? How would it make any sense that this character has to flip thoughts, has to feel a certain way, has to take certain actions? Because all of that is taking place within the dream. And you, as source, as God, are the one dreaming it all up. So to say that this human character is the one that's manifesting would be like saying you're reading a book, and inside of the book, the character stops mid-sentence, stops narrating the story, and says, hold on a second, I want to grab a keyboard and change this story. I'm going to go change it right now. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So let me be very clear. I am by no means, by no means saying that you should just completely forget altogether about this character. No, you, as source, manifested this character to experience life through this character. So we chose the human experience for a reason. We chose the human experience to experience what it was like to feel limited, to feel separate, to feel small, to feel like things were happening to us, instead of understanding that who we really are, everything is happening through us, within us. So when you believe that you're a human being, you believe that you're small, you believe that you're limited, you believe that you're separate, and you believe that the world is just happening to you. But when you understand you are the one that's dreaming it all up, and that everything exists within your dream, you understand that you do not have to be limited by what the character thinks, by what the character feels, by what the character does or doesn't do. And the best thing about this is the character is always going to follow your awareness of being, who you define this character to be, how you define everything in your life. And the character automatically starts to follow that identity. So the reason why I want to talk to you guys about this today is because I have been working with somebody for seemingly quite a while. And as we know, there is no time. But for her, she had been in this, manifestation world for what she said felt like forever. And she had done all of the things that I just mentioned. She was trying to control the dream by believing that she existed inside of the dream, not fully understanding that she was the dreamer dreaming this whole entire experience up. So we really got into all of this, what I'm saying to you guys, and she did understand it and accepted it at a certain level. But what she said to me was she would start to experience really amazing things in her life, just feeling so at peace, so calm, not really worried about anything. And then something would appear to happen to her character. And then she would fall right back into the dream as if she were the character inside of the dream. And she was just so tired of this feeling amazing, having great things happen to her, and then falling right back into this character, believing that this was who she was. And she was just not satisfied with where she was in this dream. So we talked, and she actually had sent me an email, and she basically said, like, Brittany, I am so exhausted. I'm so done. I just had the worst weekend of my life. She proceeded to explain to me that her person that things were going well with just let her know, essentially just dropped it on her lap, that he was going to be moving across the country. And he let her know that she had no choice in the matter. So she was feeling really upset about that. She was feeling hurt. She was feeling like she wasn't a priority. And then on top of that, her dad received some quite scary news about his health. And so her family was very worried, very stressed out. And then she just said, in general, with her life on an everyday basis, she just felt super lonely. She didn't feel like she really had anyone to talk to, especially about the way that she had been feeling with all of this reality creation stuff. She just felt super alone. And so before I even had a chance to reply back to her, because at the end of her email, she basically was like, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I'm doing wrong? I don't know what to do anymore. I'm just so over this. And like I said, before I had a chance to reply, she wrote me back again and she said, okay, after I asked you that question, the answer came to me and I know what it is. It's that I have to stop buying into this idea that I am the character, that I'm the character that still doesn't have what she wants, that I'm the character that's having a hard time. And she was like, I want to, trust me, I do. And I know that you've said this to me over and over again. I know that you talk about this in your videos all the time. And yet I still feel like it's hard for me to do. And she was like, I don't even want to care. I don't want to care about the 3D anymore. I don't want to be affected by circumstances, but it just feels like I can't. I feel scared. I really feel scared to finally drop this character. And I asked her what she was scared about. And she basically said to me, there's two things that make her feel scared. The first thing is she's scared that she'll never actually get what she wants. And I get it. It's valid. The second thing that she was scared about is that she would lose herself in dropping this identity. And so first thing I said to her was, okay, all of that is valid and I totally understand, but let me explain to you. First of all, you do not feel scared. You don't feel scared. You are the source behind this entire experience. You're not scared. The character is feeling scared. And why is that? Sure, it could be the idea that she believes she'll never get what she wants, which, by the way, is an illusion. It's a lie. How could you not get what you want when you already have what you want? Okay? And we're going to go into that, don't worry. But secondly, the character feels scared because she feels threatened. She feels like her existence is going to literally just crumble away and die, and she will no longer be here. And the thing is, the human, the body, does not dissolve. It doesn't go anywhere. It's the identification to the body that is causing you suffering, that's causing you pain. That's all that it is. So it's loosening this identification to it. That's all. Dropping it. No longer attaching your sense of self to this character. And she was like, okay, can you please tell me how to do this? And I said, honestly, it's simply a choice to no longer define who you are based off of what it appears that the character is feeling, hearing, seeing, experiencing, thinking, doing. None of that has anything to do with you and who you truly are. None of it. And I'm not sitting here saying that you have to ignore the experience. I don't want you to ignore the experience. After all, you manifested this character to experience. But what I don't want you to do is attach your sense of self to the experience. So I gave her an example, and I've used this example with many people before, but I think it will be a helpful reminder. So I gave her the example of winning the lottery. So let's say today you just found out that you won life-changing money in the lottery. Now, this example is being presented to the character, okay? Because as your true self, as who you really are, as God, source, I am, you already have it all. You don't need to win the lottery to experience your massive, infinite abundance and wealth, okay? But I gave her this analogy because it makes sense to us believing that we're this character. So I said, if you won this life-changing money, but you found out that you were not going to receive a penny of it for at least 3 months, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in your experience. But that doesn't mean nothing has actually changed. Yes, you don't have the money still. You're not going to look at your bank account and see a difference. But you are now completely different because you are no longer attached to this character's struggles. You're no longer attached to this character's identity. Why? Because you know that everything has changed. Even if it doesn't appear to be different, it is different. So now you're moving through your experience, not caring when a bill comes, not caring when your bank account seems like it's low, not caring about any of it because it no longer has anything to do with you. And here's the thing, guys. This is the truth for every single one of you right now. Whatever it is that you are going through in this experience, you have to understand and come to terms with the fact that it truly has nothing to do with you. It truly has nothing to do with you, unless you say it does, unless you want to hold on to this limited character as if it's you, unless you want to keep pretending that you're a victim and that you're limited and that you're small and that you don't have a say in your experience. And you can very well choose to do that. But that's not what I'm here for. I am here to let all of you know that you don't have to choose that anymore. You don't have to choose that. But it is going to be up to you and only you to choose something different because this is your personal experience where you make the rules entirely based off of what you say. And for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I don't want to make this difficult. I want this to be just as easy as claiming it, knowing that when I have a desire, it's just a reminder that I already have this thing. Yes, in the human experience, we are and will continue to experience this life through a limited perspective, okay? Because we chose a limited perspective. But when you know the truth, these things that seem limited, that seem like it's not what you want, are simply just illusions from this limited perspective. And you can choose to see what's really going on here. You can choose to see the bigger picture behind all of it. And that is that you are all that is. And you are dreaming this whole entire thing up. And at any given moment, you can choose to wake up and change the way that you perceive the dream. Change the character's story. Change their entire identity. Whatever it is that you want to experience, you are the one that has to make the decision. And when you make that decision, you stand there. You stay in that truth, no matter what. You can be crying. You can be angry. You can be frustrated. You can feel exhausted. But all of that is an illusion anyways. Because as source, you don't get tired. You don't get confused. You aren't unsure. You are pure knowing, pure perfection, absolute fulfillment. Nothing missing, ever. So I explained this to her, and she was ready to completely drop this character. Now, let me be real. It wasn't always easy for her, and that's okay. I'm not going to sit here and say that, you just make this choice and everything's easy from here on out. It's not always that way. Can it be? Yes, it absolutely can be. But we have built this habit, this attachment to this character and its problems and its struggles and its stories. And so it feels a bit difficult, but it isn't, I promise you. It's us listening to the character's feelings, us listening to the character's thoughts that makes it feel difficult, makes it feel scary. But if you understand that all of that is simply an illusion that you have dreamt up, there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to feel threatened about. There's truly nothing to fear. But those feelings, those thoughts, they're valid. So allow them to be here, knowing that they do not belong to you. So she made the decision to just drop it all. She had a lot of emotions coming up. She said she was quite surprised at all of the different types of emotions she was feeling. And it's totally okay, totally valid, totally fine. But I just reminded her that, remember, it's not you with these emotions, it's the character. And as the character dies out and dissolves, there's going to be, emotions. There's going to be thoughts. There's going to be experiences sometimes that appear within this 3D screen. But if you can just allow all of it, if you can just allow all of it, choosing to know who you are, reminding yourself when you need to, taking some deep breaths, whatever it is, just remembering that none of this defines you. None of this is who you are, and you know who you are. Everything will work itself out, guys. I promise you that. I promise you that it will. So she has updated me, so that's what I'm here for, to share this update with you. And this to me was such a fun update. So to be very clear, she stopped doing anything other than choosing to be aware of who she really is. And I don't mean her new identity. I don't mean the new character's personalities and experiences and feelings. There's nothing wrong with any of that, guys. You have seen, I've posted many, many videos about choosing a new identity, how to be this new identity. I've done all of that, but it's not necessary. The only thing that's required is to know yourself, know who you truly are, and trust in that. Trust in that above all else. Trust in that over anything that occurs within this dream. And so she did. And the first thing that happened was that her dad got news that it was an error. It was a health scare. It wasn't really what it appeared to be. What actually had happened was that his doctor told him that he saw a mass on a scan that he had done. And I'm not going to get too deep into it, but basically they went to go in to see, they were going to do a biopsy on it, and they said that it wasn't there. The image showed something that wasn't actually there. And the doctor was like, I've actually had this happen 3 times in my career, and this was like a 40-year career. So he's like, I'm relieved to know that it was just an error, and we're just beyond happy to know that you're perfectly healthy. There's no issues. So that was the first thing. And while she was really spending time with her family, celebrating, enjoying the fact that she has a perfectly healthy father who is just amazing. He's active, he loves life. And when she got the news that something could be wrong, she was really upset. And she said, like, my dad is so young. I'm not ready for any of this. But he's healthy. He's perfectly healthy. So while she was celebrating and enjoying all of her time with her family and friends, sharing this news, her person reached out to her and he said, oh my gosh, I got a job offer here at home, and it pays me far more than I was going to be getting paid at this other job. Not only that, but it aligns so much more with what I actually wanted in this job. So he was like, I'm staying put. I'm not going anywhere. And I'm really excited because that means we get to continue to grow together and work on our relationship. And she was like, oh my gosh, these were things that I really wanted to hear him say for so long, but I was doing it from the character. And she's like, it's so amazing to experience this person come towards me, say all of the things like I've always wanted to hear him say, without me having to feel like I have to put in the effort to make him say it. And I was like, exactly. That's the whole point of this experience. It's not to control or manipulate things. It's understanding that in the letting go of the need to control, you have full control. After all, you're the one dreaming up this entire experience. Of course, you're the one in control. But if you think you're the character that's trying to control things, all that's going to do is make it appear more and more like you have no control. You're really like solidifying this illusion for yourself when you believe that you're this character that's trying to work towards getting what you want. So she was really surprised by that. And then the most amazing thing, in my opinion, which I think is just so cool, is that she had told me at one point, now this was quite some time ago, we hadn't talked about this in a long time, but she had mentioned to me when we were getting to know each other that she had a really big family. So she is one of 27 cousins, and all of her and her cousins are super close in age. I think it was like all in all a 7-year age difference between all 27 of them. So they were all really close, but as they had gotten older, cousins were moving away, getting married, having families, all that stuff. And that's all amazing. But she said that she just didn't she felt like she missed them, and she would have loved to take some sort of vacation together. And they had tried to do this years and years ago, but they couldn't find a place that would accommodate all of them together. And they didn't really want to stay in separate places because that kind of defeats the purpose of a family cousin reunion. So long story short, as she was resting in the truth and she was just living her life, enjoying being at peace, feeling free, feeling secure and safe and loved, her cousin reached out to her and said, oh my God, you're never going to believe this. So you know how we've wanted to take that cousin trip for forever? And she was like, yeah. And he goes, well, long story short, my company has an account with this place in Costa Rica. Now, I'm not too sure in the logistics of this, but basically his company works with this villa in Costa Rica, and they are going to allow them to stay there. Number one, it fits 35. So they are going to have this like gorgeous luxury villa. She sent me pictures. It's stunning. Gorgeous luxury villa all together with all of her cousins. They're going for 10 days. And the best thing about this is her cousin got such an amazing deal because he works with these people that she's like, we're literally getting a luxury vacation for like the lowest price, like less than I pay normally to go on like my regular family vacations. So she was just shocked by this. And she's like, the thing that surprises me the most is that this whole cousin thing came together so beautifully, better than I could have ever imagined. And I wasn't even focusing on it. I wasn't trying to make it happen. So she was like, so what is this whole thing about? like focusing on what you want so much? Why do so many people say that you have to focus, focus, focus on it? And here's the thing, that's going back to believing that you are this character that has to use your attention and focus to bring something into your experience. Now, I want to make it clear, yes, what you choose to be aware of is what you're going to experience, but you don't have to hold focus. That doesn't even make sense. If you know you're God, why would you have to effort in any way? You already have all of it. So she had already decided this many, many years ago by desiring it. That's all. And the way that it was finally able to present itself to her was that she stopped believing that she was this limited human that was trying to manifest something, and she rested in the truth, which allowed all of these things to start appearing to her. Why? Because if you know who you truly are, there's absolutely nothing missing in your experience. The only reason it appears that way is because you insist you are this human who doesn't have what they want, and you will continue to perpetuate that experience if you keep buying into this idea. So, first of all, thank you so much to my client for allowing me to share her story. You're amazing. I'm so happy for you. But I really hope that this was helpful for you guys as well, because I truly want you to understand the importance in letting go of the idea that you are this character. It's going to feel hit or miss. It's going to feel like you have to effort, and you still might not see what you want to see. But when you know who you are and you trust in that above all else, and you rest in this, you relax in this, because after all, if you had everything you wanted, you wouldn't be stressed. You wouldn't be trying to chase something. You wouldn't be looking for proof of it. You would just be relaxed and satisfied knowing who you are. So thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I have missed you all so much. I'm sure you understand that my character experiences quite a busy experience, and I love that for her. So I've just been spending lots of time with my kids and my husband, and it's getting warmer outside, which I'm really happy about. Getting ready to go to the pool, but I just wanted to come on here and share this with you guys. I know that you can do this. I know that you understand this. Of course, you all know this deep within because it's who you are. But I think you all are ready to just take this little leap. Don't worry if you feel scared. Don't worry if there's thoughts and feelings. That's all valid. But choose to see yourself for who you really are. And everything in your life is going to change. And I mean, it's not going to change. It's going to reveal what's always been there. That's exactly what's happening. You're not changing anything. You're not fixing anything. You're choosing to finally see yourself for who you really are. And you're allowing everything to be revealed to you as it's always been there. All right, everybody, I love you all so, so much. I hope you have an amazing, amazing week, and I will see you soon.